Hey everybody, this is Tara Taglienti, and I'm here today to talk about vibrations and to show vibrations quantified. Okay, so today's video, I'm going to show you guys a scale about measured vibrations, and this is kind of something that you want to keep in mind while I just found it to be really like energy's not, I mean, this is a scale that I'm not sure who put this together, but it's an energy vibration chart. It's a really good way of gauging where you are currently resonating when you're in different moods and when you're experiencing different types of emotions. And this is something that I would like to say is you want to pay attention to this not only with yourself but also on like a global scale, because there are different parts of the world where some of these vibrations are like the homeostasis, where people are kind of functioning in. And then there's also ways of like the vibration of the people being manipulated, such as fear-mongering and such as shaming, with different types of religions coming up and keeping people in shame. Like, I'm going to show you here where those where these emotions or these states resonate at, and how and where it's, so when we're in, I'm going to call them lower vibrations. And here's the thing. We want to get to a place where we're not really quantifying things, but this is something that I found is really good for people who are more logically minded, to just kind of get a sense. And it actually, this is something that's when you're first starting out learning about energy and like vibrations and getting to know where you're resonating. This is something that just I found is a very, very helpful tool. However, the bigger picture of it is like energy is just energy, and we don't want to label an energy as good or bad, because it's changeable. And sometimes sometimes what we call, when you're making an energetic shift, when you want to up level and you want to shift your vibration, sometimes we do go through some lower states of energies, and we experience these lower states of I don't really want to call them lower, but sometimes we have to experience some shit to go through some shit to break through, and then on the other side of it is something better than we could have ever imagined, right? So none of this is to be making any of these right or wrongs, but this is just something that's I found it when I first started out, it's just easy. Okay, so I'm going to show this on the camera, and I'll just talk from there, okay? Here we go. All right, can everybody see this? So we've got this, hang on, let me see if I can. So we've got this cone. At the top of it, you see it's purple. It's ultimate consciousness and enlightenment. So we've got that scaled off at the side. You can see it's 700 to 1000. If you look all the way down at the bottom where it's red, you see it says shame is like on the bottom, okay? So you want to look over off to, I guess on your left or your, I don't know, I'm not sure, like left or right at this point. There's on the other side of this chart, there's a space that's called contracted, and a place where it's called expanded, where the best, most abundant, most happier, most creative, most I would say even healthy for the planet, places to be resonating in is anywhere from, I would say, like 200 and above. So like we're looking at courage, neutrality, and then things really start to change when you hit willingness. And that's about 310. You can look at that. Willingness. When you have the willingness to change something, so many things. I mean, like even like a 1% willingness that you would like to change something, that's like sending a huge signal out to the universe that you're ready for some sort of an expansion. Okay, and things will start to show up that do change. I'm gonna use my finger now. So down here we've got shame. That's all the way at the bottom. Shame, guilt. Shame and guilt, guys. So this is what I want to say. Like when you're looking at shame and guilt, most of the religions of the world function by shaming and guilting people. And you want to look at some of these areas on the planet where these religions are most dominant, and look at what's going on in these spaces of unrest. You've got shame and guilt, so much going on there, right? And we go to apathy, and then 75 we're at grief and fear. And look at this, it's actually categorized suffering in grief and fear. So when we're fearful of like not having enough, and when we're in grief, we're actually not clear to get the intuitions, and the like intuitions don't come to us as easy or anything. You know, it's like when we're vibrating in these areas, when you're in grief or fear, just know you're kind of in a blocked state. See, you're in contraction. And this is just not a generative space to be. Like, you won't be making more money when you're fearful. You won't be creative when you're fearful. You're too blocked up worrying about things, okay? And so here we move up to desire and anger. Even if you're at angry, if you're like, I don't want to fucking deal with it. Hold on. If you're just like, I don't want to deal with this stuff anymore, and you're pissed off enough that's enough to elicit a change, getting angry, okay? So even in an angry state, you're actually a lot better off than if you're vibrating down at guilt and shame. And so if you live with somebody who guilts you and shames you, and you want to look at that bottom number, those are really low vibrations. They're actually trying to get, subconsciously, they're actually trying to get you to be the lowest that you can be. Right? So if you're living with someone that's full of guilt and shame and wants you to be fearful of them, wants you to be guilty all the time, you want to get away from these types of people, okay? Because they're only holding you down, all right? Now, we're going to go up. This video is definitely carrying on a little long. I didn't intend on that, but here we go, guys. Okay. Now we want to look at these places right here. Okay, up in here, we're in flow when we're in like reason, acceptance, love, okay? Love and joy, okay? Now there's a saying in the modality that I do, access consciousness, money follows joy. So when you're happy, when you're happy, you're way more creative, you're way more healthier, your body is in a space of a lot more health. And you actually will attract money to you. And that's something I'm going to talk about in further videos. Money follows joy. When you're happy, you make more money. So up in these places, peace, joy, love, reason, in all of this, it's just having the willingness, and it is a choice. You've got to really choose to be in the flow here. You want to be expanded. And by getting there, I'll talk about how to get there in other videos. But here we go. We're just getting by when we've got courage and pride. You know, gay pride is coming along. Guys, yes, we want to be proud, but we also want to be thriving. So it's one thing to be proud. Cool. Well, let's pump it up to joy. So just saying, okay, I don't want to diss pride because I think it's very, very important. It keeps us out of guilt and fear, which is where like the oppressors and the religions of the world want to keep people, most LGBTQ people they're persecuted. So they're kept in fear and all of those lower vibrations. Well, if that's not our natural state. Okay, I'm just saying, you as a being, us as a being, we as beings, energetic beings, our natural state is a state of joy and lightness. We'll talk about that in further videos. So guys, I just wanted to show you this quantifiable, it's a really easy to use scale. Again, I got this from a website and see contracted, expanded. You want to be expanded. This is where all the magic happens here. Okay? But you can use this down here: shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride, courage, neutrality. You can use these as a way to gauge where you're at, like during the day. Like if you're, if you start feeling any of these things, you can just be like, well, I got to snap myself out of this. And you can create the shift just with your willingness, right? So yeah, we're going on 10 minutes now. I'm gonna close this out because this is a very long video. Guys, so tomorrow I'm gonna start talking about how you can shift into these other states. So tomorrow we're gonna be talking about verbal clearings, moving energy with speech, and also intention. So stay tuned. If you like this video, just click the Tara Taglian TCFMW, add yourself to my watch page, or join me in Out of the In Crowd, my group here on Facebook. All right, guys, take care. Have a great, awesome day. This is Tara. I am out. Bye-bye.